Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why MyLowe's Rewards members get a free Valspar paint or exterior stain sample to test your look to confidently refresh your space. Offer valid in-store only 8/7 to 8/20. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken in time of purchase. See associate for details. Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
What's up, and welcome back to the Six Man Podcast. I'm your host, Phil Dunn. I just want to thank everybody again for all the continued support. On the Instagram page, I have over 26,000 views in the last month on that page. So again, just thank you for the support. Hope you continue to support and like the content that I'm putting out. On today's episode, we have Kevin Stein. Kevin, just to give a little backstory, has a super great basketball career. He scored 1,000 points in high school at Chester Academy in New York. He then scored nearly 1,500 points in college between SUNY Orange, JUCO, Division II JUCO, super high level, where he had a ton of success there. Made it to the national semifinal game there, and then played Division II scholarship level at McKendree University in Illinois. So super excited for you guys to hear that. Before we get into it, just want to remind you guys, if you could follow on Instagram at the Six Man Podcast. Like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Obviously, also, we have ads now, so excited to keep growing the show. Excited for all the support I'm getting, so thank you guys. Let's get to the interview with Kevin. All right, I'm here with Kevin Stein. Kevin, what's up? Thanks for coming on the pod.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, of course. Super excited for this interview. So I want to start by asking you about your beginnings in basketball. What age did you start playing at, and who first put the ball in your hands?
I really started playing, all the towns got the recreational leagues,
Yep.
football and basketball and baseball and all that. So, I really just started playing all of them, and then basketball, football kind of stuck. I liked football more a lot growing up until I got to middle school. So then I kind of transitioned over to playing basketball and playing travel and stuff like that once I got to seventh to eighth grade.
So obviously growing up in a small town and stuff, I always noticed, at least from my perspective, because I knew some of the older guys from Chester that were closer to my age.
Yeah,
You were always kind of the next guy up, and I know they always had a ton of support for you, and there was
for
always a
sure.
lot of buzz about you coming up. So growing up playing basketball, what did it mean to you to have the support of those older guys that played at Chester before you?
Yeah, they kind of paved the way because, when I was growing up, Chester was always pretty good. Even if they weren't winning, they would probably make playoff runs, stuff like that. So I kind of always just wanted to be next in line. The 2 years before I started playing on varsity, they were back-to-back champions. So, kind of just being that next person up, just, trying to follow the footsteps. And not only did they support me, but they were my friends. I still hang out with a lot of them. I still talk to a lot of them. So that's kind of how I got better, them just bringing me to play with them in different parks. We used to go to Warwick, Florida,
Yep.
everywhere. So kind of just, playing with the older guys just kind of prepared me at a younger age, I feel like, to do what I need to do.
That's something you definitely hear from a lot of good players, is playing with older guys at a younger age definitely prepares you for when you go back and play against kids your own age.
Nah, for
It's
sure.
way easier. So talk a little bit about your high school career. I was kind of looking through it today. I think you guys went 22-1 your senior year, right?
Yeah. We actually we were 22-0 and we lost in the section finals. So that was disappointing. It was a great season, don't get me wrong. We're not going
Yeah.
to let everything fall off one game, but definitely not the ending we wanted. But I will say we definitely surprised a lot of people who didn't think that we were going to be as good as we were because the year before we were actually supposed to be really good. They predicted us. We were Class B, so it was Class B finalists or whatever, and we were actually very mid. I think we went 500. So the
Yeah.
year after that, they were like, "Oh, Chester's they're losing a lot of players now. They're not going to be that good." So it was almost opposite. But now it was definitely a good year, but disappointing ending for sure.
What was your overall experience? You played varsity 4 years, right?
Yeah,
What was like your overall high school experience? Obviously, you scored 1,000 points in high school, super successful, like individually and team wise. Like, how would you describe your overall journey in Chester in high school?
I would say Chester definitely was just a lot of growth. Like from where I started my freshman year I was on varsity. I didn't even start in the beginning, and then I ended up starting like a couple games in, and then I was scoring literally like one basket a game. Like I remember my freshman year, I would just be like, all right, just score one layup, like score one layup. Like that's what I wanted every game, just to score one time. And then
Yeah,
it started going up, and then I started averaging like 10 points a game, like towards the end of my freshman year. So then my sophomore year, I kind of turned into like, they were giving me the ball this year, but I struggled because that was my first time ever, being like kind of the guy. So I really struggled. I shot really bad, like games where I would be locked up, like playing terrible. My junior year, just a little bit of growth, like more consistent of a score. I probably averaged, I want to say like maybe 16 or 17 my junior year, and but I didn't do anything else. All I did was score. Like I had
yeah.
no other stats. So then my senior year, that rounded it out. I think I averaged the same amount my junior and senior year, but my assists and my rebounds went way up. It went from like 1 and 2 to like 7 and 6 or something like that. So just kind of just continually growing my game like all 4 years, little by little. I feel like that was just my experience at Chester as a whole, like just continually growing and getting better and just chasing that, as best as I could be.
So you mentioned before about also being like playing football. I know you had like a good high school football
Yeah.
career too. Like coming out of high school, was it ever a thought that you were going to try to play football in college, or like was it always going to be basketball?
Never. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was getting letters first for football. Like the first ever letters I got to be recruited was football letters. Like, oh, we would love this. And I used to tell my football coaches like, yo, tell them I'm not interested. Like, I don't want to play football. Like, I I enjoyed my high school football experience. Like, I really enjoyed it. Like, it was all my friends it was Chester. So, we were playing football and then we're going to basketball season together, and then most of them are going to
Yeah,
baseball season together. So it was fun, but I knew like the college football life is not what I wanted to do. Like I already knew that.
yeah.
So
College football is brutal, and I bet
crazy.
you ended up you made the right decision though. Uh, so obviously, like after your senior season, going into your freshman year of college is when COVID hits.
Yo,
So talk a little bit about how like COVID affected your journey and like your college journey.
so in the moment, COVID was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. Like my senior year, we lost the section final on a Friday. The next Friday was like March 13th, I think that was the date, and they was like, "Yo, we're gonna take 2 weeks off from school, like whatever." And then
Yeah,
that ended up turning into like not going back. So in the moment, I was thinking like, "This is the worst thing ever." Like I hated COVID, so I was committed to Oneonta. So they already told me during the summertime, like, we're not gonna have a season, like the season's already canceled, but we're gonna have practices and stuff. Like, so if you want, you could come to campus, but it's not mandatory because you gotta pay out of Division 3. So I went to campus anyway because I wanted to get ahead, practice and all that, college. And after 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, they sent everybody home because the COVID cases like flew up. So I did the rest of the year online, like literally sitting right where I am right now at my desk, just doing online school. And then since I didn't get that year, like that's a year of eligibility I get back basically. So my AAU coach, OC Kings coach Sal, ended up getting the assistant coach job at OC. And I told him, like he didn't ask me, I went to him. I was like, damn, I would have loved to play JUCO to have the opportunity like to go higher than D3. And it was like probably the end of July. And he was like, I could try and see. And he was like, yo, actually we could make it work, but you would have to like get things rolling right now. So literally, I called my Oneonta coach. I was like, "Yo, listen, I'm sorry. Like, I'm decommitting. Like maybe 2 weeks before I was supposed to move in." And I was like, "Coach, I'm sorry. Like, I got stuff going on. Like, I'm gonna stay home, stay local, go to junior colleges, play there, and whatever." He was like upset about it, but like obviously he
yeah,
wanted me to come. But so then I ended up going to OC was because of COVID. So really, on the flip side, COVID was like low key probably one of the best things that ever happened. Like. So I just definitely a full circle moment.
yeah. It's crazy how like something that's like so bad at the beginning and like you so much like questions that you don't know what's going to happen ends up turning into probably
Facts.
one of the best decisions you made from like a
Nah,
basketball
yeah.
perspective.
Nah, that was a
Um,
blessing. Like blessing. I can't even speak highly enough of it.
so you mentioned like how you ended up at OC. Obviously, you guys like made history, had like a crazy run at Ock over 2 years. I think you guys went like what, like 50-5 or something over
Yep.
2 years. Got to the national semifinal game your second year there. You obviously had crazy stats. So talk a little bit more about like your experience playing at Ock. I think you guys had like 4 or 5 scholarship guys on that team, like blowing through teams. So just talk about what that was like.
Yeah. So my first year at Ock, we was a bunch of local guys. We had two guys move up here from the city that got an apartment together. Everybody else was just local guys, and we we were a good team our first year, but we weren't that deep. Like we weren't super deep, like to go to the national championship run. Like we had a
Yeah,
good run, but not obviously what we wanted. So we really used to play like seven, maybe eight guys, like mostly like six though. Like six caught, seven would play like the game, and then eight was like optional, depending on the game. But we were just playing. I was playing my first year out, we was all playing 35, 38 minutes, like
damn.
just basically learning, like just learning our college experience, like what to do, what not to do, how to pace ourselves, things like that. So our second year, after having that good year, that's when we got it was still a lot of local guys actually, mostly local guys, but that's when we kind of got a deeper team. Like we had basically the same starting five, except we brought KG in, and we had Jared and George, like the Middletown, Newburgh, things like that. So we just my second year, we were just deep. Like one person needs a rest, like the person coming off the bench, like is no drop off. So I feel like that's really what made us dangerous, like my second year.
You kind of said like how COVID like affected you going to Ock, but like, do you think that COVID in general got like a lot of those guys to Ock that like if COVID never happened, they would have ended up there?
Yeah, I think Ak put a lot of people on like pause. Like people didn't know what they wanted to do, so they kind of spent that year like just on pause. And the way JUCO is like you could kind of play at any age. Like you could take
Yeah,
3 years off and play JUCO. So these people, all these dudes who like hoops, played high school hoops, they were good. They were kind of on pause, like they didn't know what was going on. Like, coaches was like kind of skeptical, no seasons. So once they kind of seen us have our season at Ock, like, and we were talking to scholarship coaches a little bit. We started getting a little more motion, like being able to get into the gym, things like that. That kind of just like I feel like that was like almost the influence of like getting more local guys who were just kind
yeah,
of sitting around, like didn't know what they were gonna do to just buy in. Cause I mean, I know like when I was growing up, playing at Ock was almost like, like people would look at Ock as like, yeah, like kind of anybody could do that, like which isn't
yeah.
true, but that was just kind of like the skeptical, like, oh yeah, like even if I didn't play on my high school team, I could probably just go to Ock and like just play. So I feel like we kind of changed like almost the narrative of like JUCO, Ox specifically, but just even JUCO kind of in general around here.
I definitely agree with that. Like, I feel like your guys' group like completely changed Ock because like even the guys they're getting now after you are like high level guys that are
Yeah,
deciding to stay home, um, because of like how competitive you guys are, and like I feel like you guys really paved the way with that.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
So going into your second year, like you mentioned your first year there, like you guys were good, but like not like national championship contenders.
Yeah.
Going into your second year, like bringing a lot of guys back, bringing new guys in, like what was like your mindset? Did you guys know like how good you were going to be going into the season, and like you guys were set on winning the national championship?
Yes,
And
like first day of first week. So my Coach Ricard, he's really old school. He played there his two
yeah,
years under his dad. Then he ended up assistant coaching for his dad. Then he was head coach. He took a break. He has kids, so he was kind of took a break to stay home, help his wife and all that. And then once he came back, that was his second year back at Ock was my first year at Ock. So we had that year. The second year, first week of practice, like we were getting adjusted. The new guys trying to see how he coaches, but he's old school, so it was like a lot of the same things every day, like just like going through the basics every day. And so once we all started kind of like getting the offense, like getting the what I'm saying, the defense, like how we played around each other, like we was like national championship. Like that was what we used to say like all the time. Like we would be in a game like bad up by 20 something points. They go on like a 10-0 run, whatever. The game's we still in control, but it's like, yo, like this is not national championship basketball. Like that
yeah.
was just what we preached the whole season. Like that was literally our like not our only goal, but that was like what we was focused on for real.
So obviously mentioned like you guys went like 50-5, like I said earlier. Great like individual career there. What was like the recruitment process coming out of Ock? Like what coaches were talking to you, and how did you like narrow down your options?
Uh, so I feel like really we didn't get a lot of we didn't get like a lot of locally like there's schools around like in our area like they got
Yeah,
the D2s like Stack Dominican and all that. They even have the D1s like Marist, Quinnipiac, Fordham in the city. Like nothing I feel like we was getting was local. Like the first school that ever offered me a scholarship was in Illinois. And then, we were kind of talking to some schools, talked to a school in Buffalo, but none of the local schools was like really, really contacting us. And then once we went to the national tournament, which is in Danville, Illinois, that was like filled with coaches, like filled. So we went up there and we won our first two games each by like 20. So after that, like all of us, like the whole starting five after the game, like we're talking to a coach. As soon as we're done talking to the next coach, we're like, "Oh, can I talk to you?" Like, so I feel like that's kind of how we ended up talking to all these different schools, which is like you can kind of see like we all kind of went spread out, like all of us kind of
yeah,
went all over the country. So that's really how we got our recruitment. Like we, I feel like a lot of us were just kind of in conversations, and then once we went to the national tournament. That's how like it really picked up. Like we
got
started
real.
getting offers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Was the like your second year at Ock? Was it like was your goal like always scholarship level? Like was it going to be scholarship
Yeah.
level no matter what?
We
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of we that's like what we used to talk about. Like Ak, it's no dorms, there's nothing like that. So our team bonding, like it wasn't chilling in a dorm. Like we just used to like just chill, like that's it. And then everybody had to go home. Like,
yeah,
Washingtonville, Chester, Middletown, everybody had to go home. So that's what we used to talk about. Like I feel like the reason we were so good was not only were we like talented and all that, we worked hard, but we had a really good like off the court like chemistry. Like we were chilling together every day, like going to get food after practice every day. Like even we would just stay in the gym and talk like for like a long time. And that's basically what all we used to talk about is basketball. Like talk about all the games, talk about this person's talking to this school, like this person's talking to this school, like talk about scholarship, like. I feel like we were almost like not visionaries, but like we kind of envisioned what we wanted, and like that's all we talked about. Like, oh, I can't wait till we're playing scholarship. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I hope so. Like, we
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
just used to talk about it like it's gonna happen. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. That was definitely like a super special group that you had at Ock, and like I said before, like made history over those 2 years. So then you end up at McKendree University. Is it's in Illinois, right? You mentioned
In
that.
Illinois, yeah, close to St. Louis, yeah.
So Division II scholarship level, obviously. What was your experience like at the Division II level? And do you think playing like at a high level JUCO prepared you to play at the Division II level?
Yeah, I think it definitely did. I mean, any level of college, I will say, is faster than high school. Like, you just have
Yeah,
most college teams are filled with guys who were the guy on their high school team. So definitely a lot faster. You meet guys stronger. I will say the biggest difference between JUCO and Division II is the bigs. I will say, like when I was at JUCO, like even our bigs was like 6'4", 6'5". Like when I'm at D2, we're running into like 6'9s", 6'10s, like
yeah,
real block paint beasts, like just standing wall up. So that was the biggest difference. But I just feel like the like that's for opponents, but biggest difference for like myself was just, like scheduled work our scheduled lift time, scheduled film time, scheduled, we going on road trips like every other weekend. Like JUCO, we take the bus, come back. At McKendree, like we're going on road trips like 4 days, like things like that. So I feel like it definitely prepared me, but at the same time, like you're never really prepared. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta
yeah.
experience it.
Was there any like role difference? Like how was it from going from being like one of the better guys handling the ball most of the game at Ock to going to Division II at McKendree?
Yeah, it was literally like probably the biggest role change like for me because my first year at McKendree, they were coming off a conference title. They went to the Sweet 16. They won the conference title as like the sixth seed in the conference. Then went to the national tournament and won the first two games.
Damn.
And then in the Sweet 16, they missed a game winner that would have sent them to the Elite Eight. So like they went on a run. Like
Yeah.
so they had a shooting guard who was playing really well, who was a shooter because he like shot a lot of threes, and that's kind of what I did at Alc. but I was like a point guard, like set up the offense, pass it, and then get the shot later, kind of in the shot clock. At McKendree, they had a point guard and all that. They just needed me to fill in the role as like a shooter. So when I got there, like I didn't really put the ball on the floor like at all. Like it was just we had two bigs. We had a first team all conference big and a defensive player of the year big, like athletic, lanky big. So a lot of my shots was coming off like doubles in the post, kick out, or like I would use a ball screen and they would just both go with the big, like, and I have to shoot.
Yeah.
So definitely just like, not having the ball in my hands. Like, even if you don't shoot, but you're dribbling the ball, you're making passes, you still feel like you're in a rhythm. But when I got to McKendree, like I would go possessions without a touch, like 3, 4 possessions without a touch, and then finally get open in the corner and like knock it down, like have to knock it down, you know what I'm saying? Then not touch the ball again for another 5 possessions. So that was the biggest role change I feel like for sure.
Did your like confidence struggle at all doing that?
Um, what it's crazy because my coaches used to tell me like I don't like to shoot bad shots. Like I'm not the type of person who's like, yo, I haven't touched it in a while. Like as soon as I touch
Yeah,
it, it's
yeah,
going up. Like I like to, make the right play. So my coaches actually used to tell me like, yo, I need to shoot more. Like, why are you not shooting? And my thing would be like, all right, like I understand, but I haven't touched the ball. Like I'm just running around playing defense, which is cool. But I haven't touched the ball in like 5 possessions. I'm in the corner. I get a skip pass like at my ankle. Like, you know what I'm saying? I scoop it up and last second I see it close out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I pump fake one dribble or whatever, and they're like, yo, shoot it. And for me, it was just more like a rhythm thing. Like it was hard for me to
yeah,
catch a rhythm a lot of times. So I wouldn't say it was like a confidence thing where I feel like I couldn't make it. I just felt like I wanted to be like, rhythm. Like I didn't want to, scoop up a ground ball and then chuck it to the rim.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And then feel like, damn, like we could have got a better shot.
And then obviously your second year there, you had a lot more like individual success from like stats perspective. Do you think it was more like did guys leave that were ahead of you, or was it more like you kind of understood your role better and like understood what Division II was?
Definitely both. I will say lifting like changed a lot for me. Like, I was always
Yeah,
kind of a little bit of like a chunky, like I could still move like guard skills, but I was still like, kind of slow. And I'm not saying I'm the fastest now, but definitely getting on that like a D2 lift program for the summer too. Cause when you get there, like you lift, but you're getting ready for the season. So you're not like repping out maxes and stuff like that.
yeah.
So following that lifting program for the summer, on top of just understanding, on top of all those top guys leaving, definitely it was a mix of everything. But yeah, definitely. And I also had a big role change too. I stopped shooting as many threes. Became more of like a pick and roll downhill, get to the middle of the paint, like decision maker kind of role.
So what are your goals or like some of your plans in the future for basketball now that you're done at McKendree?
So there's like things keep changing, like with the NCAA rules and stuff.
I was gonna
But
say, did you get a year back as the JUCO rule?
I did. So I am currently still eligible to go to a D1 school for one more year, which I am in talks with it is a little late, so things is like kind of moving
Yeah,
quick, but definitely still in some talks. I could go the pro route and get an agent, try to do that. So I thought about that, but my main focus, I would love to stay in the States, another year if I could get D1
yeah.
under my belt, the experience, stuff like that. So right now, my main focus is to try to get, to a Division 1 school. So it's in talks right now. Hopefully the ball it's rolling. So hopefully they just lay everything out like, yo, we want you. Like this is your offer, this, that, and the third, and I can accept it. But yeah, so that's really my plan right now. But they also, I'm not sure like what's going on, but they also just implemented like a new if Division 2 players get 5 years now, or they're gonna pass that rule next year. They were saying. So I'm not sure how that might shake up my eligibility, things like that, because
You might be able to get a
uh
D2 year back.
yeah, so it's like a lot of stuff in the air, but right now my main focus is definitely trying to get to that Division 1 school.
So after college, do you want to play pro though?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely
definitely.
wanna definitely gotta try it, you know what I'm saying? See what I
Yeah, for
could do.
sure.
I mean, know a lot of guys locally that have done it successfully too. So kind of just try to talk to those guys, see what was worked for them, what didn't work, like what to look for, things like that.
All right. So last question I have for you If you could go back in time and give your younger self advice in terms of basketball, what would it be?
I would just say, like, I picked up my work ethic probably when I was about sophomore in high school. I would just say, like, I mean, the work is like undefeated. Like,
Yeah,
just work hard. Like, just stay in the gym. Like, everything else is temporary. Like, hanging out with your friends, like, that's cool and memories and stuff. But like, just stay locked in, stay in the gym. Like, one thing I would say when I got to McKendree. There was a lot of new guys, like a lot of returners, but a lot of new guys, like half and half. And I was able to just put myself in a playing time position just off of how hard I was working, like after practice, you know what I'm saying, getting shots up, like trying to watch film with my coaches, things like that. Like just how hard I was working compared to everybody on the roster, like already put me ahead of like half the roster, like if that
yeah,
makes sense. So just I mean it's cliche, but it's really true. Like the work works. It's undefeated. Like just stay in the gym, like get shots up. Like you're shooting bad from three, like shoot, go in the gym, shoot more threes. Like you feel like you're missing layups, go into the gym, like work on your layups, like work on your handle, like all that stuff, bro. It makes a difference. Even not even in your game too, but just mentally, like a lot of it is mental. So just when you feel more comfortable doing it in the game, it's naturally gonna be better than when you're thinking about like, oh man, I've been losing the ball, like I don't want to keep dribbling, stuff like that. So that's what I would tell to my younger self because definitely confidence is something I struggle with a little bit, like before I really came into my own.
I will say like you do definitely have like the reputation of being one of the hardest working guys in basketball, like in Orange County. So I feel like that definitely helped mold you into the player you are, and definitely paid off.
Definitely, definitely.
But all right, Kevin, thanks so much for coming on the pod. I appreciate you taking the time to hop on.
Yes, man. I appreciate you having me. This is definitely awesome what you're doing. So I hope to see much success in it for sure.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks so much to Kevin Stein for coming on the show today. Appreciate him coming on, supporting the podcast. Appreciate all you guys for supporting the pod. Reminder, if you could please follow on Instagram at the Six Man Podcast. Follow, rate, like, subscribe, all that stuff on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to the show. And we'll be back next week with another episode. Thanks.